Hello, and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities Podcast. I'm your host, Melvin the Crimson Taurus, and unfortunately, Niema can't be here this time, but she should be back next episode, which is next month, October. Woo! Halloween time, so I know everyone is excited and happy about that. So, I have some things planned, but we'll get there when we get there. Now, as you know, if I'm live, I am not by myself, and joining me is a very special guest, a very good friend of mine who is unfortunately sick right now, but he still agreed to come on and hang out with us. Please welcome back Mr. Benny Manzo. Benny.
Hi guys, how you guys doing?
Yeah, so every now and then you might hear, "Are you serious? You missed out on the first 3 minutes for real?"
I did.
Not you.
Oh,
Okay. Wow. All right. So it cut out, but whatever. It's on recording.
okay.
So yeah, it's been a while since Benny's come on. Right now he's sick, so he has the sniffles. You might hear him blow his nose every now and then. So it's whatever. And no camera this time because Benny is sick. So we're going old
Yeah.
school with it, and hopefully this internet stays stable. Been having some issues, but hopefully it'll be okay. So fingers crossed. But anyway, Benny, yeah, welcome back, and hello Nick, hello Maeve, hello Harley. Uh, so what have you been up to, Benny, with the ghost and things that go bump the night world?
Well, nothing pretty much, man. I just been pretty much brushing up on my horror flicks, and man, it's a lots of once I get my days off, and man, so uh I usually do everything like in one day, and that's everything I have to do, and then the next day I just you know
Mm-hmm.
that's when I got time to brush up on my flicks, and so far I haven't had any experiences as of late.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, and you're a
Yeah.
big horror film fan too. Like horror, you like slashers as well, right? Cuz
Somewhat,
like
yeah. The more so horror than slashers.
okay. So
More, yeah,
I think
yeah.
I'm a bit more of a slasher guy than a horror guy, but I like the
Really?
yeah, I like the classic slasher, Jason, Michael, uh
Okay.
Chucky. I
Some
love
of Freddy
child's horror.
Krueger's.
Say that
Yeah.
again?
Some of those Freddy Krueger's in this,
Yeah,
and some of the
Nightmare
good
on Elm
ones.
Street.
And Elm Street. Yeah.
Yeah, those are more so my speed because I like the supernatural aspect of. Well, even though Michael Myers isn't supernatural, he's just
Yeah.
I don't know what he is.
Oh yeah.
He just won't die. Shoot.
Yeah. He won't. He won't. Who was your favorite one out of that bunch? If you had to pick one.
Uh, that's tough. It comes down between Chucky and Jason, but
Right.
I think I have to go with Chucky because he actually shows personality, and I think
Yeah.
he's freaking hilarious. Um,
When he rages out.
yeah, when he I'm gonna get you, demon.
Yeah.
I I
Yeah.
love that. That's
Yeah.
you know, with Jason, what I like is just like that slowness and everything, and he's just there. It's like, well, shoot, it makes no
Well,
sense. And
now
huh?
speaking of slashers, a lot of people. Have you ever seen none of the Leprechaun movies?
I like Leprechaun. I like the first two.
I'm trying to remember them, dude, because there's it's just been so long
Yeah,
since I've seen one of those.
man,
You know?
Leprechaun is goofy as sin. Like Jennifer
Yeah,
Aniston's first movie, I think.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And like and with Leprechaun, it it's one of those things where either you're going to like it or you're not, and I happen to like
Yeah.
it. Although what got me was Leprechaun in the Hood.
Dude, I'm trying to remember all the sequels, man. I'm trying to remember all. I want to say one did one take place in space in those?
I
No, huh?
I don't think so. You might be thinking of
No,
Jason X.
no, that's Jason X. Dude,
Yeah.
I'm trying to remember because they just had so many sequels, and then also a lot of people forget about. Do you remember Puppet Master?
Oh yeah, Puppet Master. Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
I
Puppet Master.
Puppet Master is an acquired
Maniac Cop.
taste.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Maniac Cop.
Bruce
Yeah,
Bruce
he
Campbell.
was on it. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was on one of them. I think he was on two of them, right? Because
I
I'd seen the part two on that one
yeah,
when I was a little boy.
I know he was in the first one. I don't know about the second one.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think he was on the second one, dude. I
Okay.
want to say he was on the second one.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
Nick is asking if you could share a little bit of your background real quick. You know,
a little
just
bit of my background.
yeah, kind of like what got you into the paranormal, a couple of quick rundown of your experiences, that type of thing.
Well, let's see. Wow. So where can well, really, it was. Um, I was intrigued and in curiosity. You know, my mom would talk about the stories, and then I would when I would visit my folks back down south in Mass, they used to talk about my grandma used to talk about stories, you know, and them and also them being like superstitious, like really superstitious people down there. You know, that kind of piqued my interest in Mass. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I want to say it was basically my mom and my grandma that got me there.
Hmm.
You know, every time that we used to they used to have this thing that they used to do like every night. Like we would just gather up and we would. I don't know why they would drink coffee at night, but that's a thing down there. So they used to just gather up and they would just start talking these stories and this. And then sometimes they were not paranormal. It would just be random talks. But then every now and then you would get the paranormal talks, and you would just have me just right there, like listening in, you know, just like
Ooh,
intrigued.
yeah,
Yeah, intrigued in that. So yeah, so I can pretty much. It was probably because of my grandma and my mom.
yeah. And
That
what about
yeah,
the liking of the horror movies?
I think of the horror movies again, dude. It's just me being a young boy, man. I remember me being a little kid, and VHSs were still around, and my brother used to just go to the video store and just rent movies.
Mhm.
And of course, that's when I ran into the Puppet Masters, the Child's Plays, the Freddy Cougars, well, believe it or not, Michael Myers came on late for whatever reason. I I just went, but Michael Myers came like towards the '90s when I started watching them, and that was because of a friend. He was like, "Hey, have you ever heard of Halloween?" I'm like, "No, man." So then I started watching it. But Jason, since I was a little boy
Yeah,
too, I used to
Friday the
watch him. Yeah,
13th. Yeah.
yeah,
With
right.
freaking Halloween. Halloween is weird.
Yeah,
I like the first two Halloweens, and then it gets a little odd.
yeah.
And then I don't know if you remember the one with Coolio, like Halloween 2.0 or some mess, Halloween 20 years later or something. It's like, what the heck
Again,
is
there's a
this?
lot of sequels. There's a lot of
It's
sequels. I don't
yeah.
remember the one with Coolie on there. Yeah,
Yeah, I haven't
I,
seen the most recent ones. They're supposed to go back to basics, but
yeah,
I don't know. I tend to stick with part 1 and part 2.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
But yeah, Halloween. But with Friday the 13th, I well, a lot of people. Oh gosh, I'm getting ready. Spoilers for anyone who's not seen Friday the 13th. It's
yeah,
interesting because Michael is not in that first movie exactly. It's his mother, I want to say,
yeah, yeah,
and he doesn't get the iconic hockey mask until part. It's either the tail end of part 2 or in part 3.
yeah,
And what it was with Jason, I think it was Jason Takes Manhattan, I want to say, where
yeah.
this is when I was like, okay, these are for me. They're just goofy enough, but also still kind of scary
I
enough.
want to say,
Uh,
that is that the one where it takes place on a boat
n-
and not a boat, a ship, right? A ship and That's the. Is that the one where the boxer punches Freddy? Not Freddy.
Yes.
Jason a few times in this, and
Yes.
it's
And
like,
then Jason uppercut
yeah,
decapitated.
yeah, decapitate.
I
Okay,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
hey,
I want to say that's the first Jason movie I've seen.
yeah, I think that's the
I
first.
think that's the first one I've seen
Yeah,
because I was young in this. Yeah,
that one. I mean, I got to give credit to the guy. He backed him up, you know. And
yeah, yeah. He
I
gave him
love
a.
that he was 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, Jason was just letting him until it's like, all right, good effort, time to die.
yeah.
End.
Oh yeah,
So yeah, I that's the one that really just I was like, okay, this is for me. But
yeah, yeah,
with Child's Play though, it was just from the start. Like
yeah.
and like I said, out of all of them, Chucky has, in my opinion, the best personality, and then Freddy Krueger.
Yeah,
But
uh,
the scariest
I
out
would
of
probably have to agree. Yeah, I
yeah
would probably agree with you on that one. Yeah,
I think the scariest though out of those classics is Halloween, and I say that because because of how it's presented, how Michael is just quiet, he's
yeah,
human, it's no supernatural aspect to him, and he's just after one thing only, kill Lori.
yeah,
And it's just
yeah,
I don't know, it's just a realistic push to it, and it just
yeah.
gets me, like the realism gets to me.
What about Candyman? Like
Candyman is
Candyman?
so underrated.
Yeah, like there's a lot. The screams I really didn't.
Yeah.
They're all right, I guess.
I'm not into the Scream movies. A couple of people
They're
I know
all
they love
okay.
them. They're
Yeah,
not for me. I can't.
yeah,
I Know What You Did Last Summer. Same thing. I just.
yeah,
Um. But I do like the first two Saw movies.
yeah,
I thought those were pretty good, but then they I don't know, they got away from the psychological aspect, and it seems like they went more towards the gory, unique
yeah,
kill aspects, and I was
yeah,
like, okay, this is just killing the kill now. I'm out of it.
yeah.
Did you like Texas Chainsaw?
Texas Chainsaw. I'm trying to. Uh, yeah, they're okay. They're good.
Yeah.
They're good. I mean, yeah, I think they're good. I just every time I watch those movies and mess, it's crazy because Leatherface, man, he seems like he's. I don't know how the dude is fast, man. He seems. He reminds me of Canelo, man. Like he's exceptionally fast. Like all of a sudden he's just there, then he pops up and just dead. Like really fast.
So
So, but yeah, but they're okay. I can do Texas
yeah,
Chainsaw Massacre.
every now and a couple of the movies, not all of them,
Yeah,
but a couple of them
yeah,
I can do all right.
yeah,
And but Leatherface is a classic villain now in that
yeah.
regards. But
Oh yeah.
no, I don't think I've ever asked you this, and I don't even know if you've ever seen these movies, but
Which ones are these?
the Alien series.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to fail you on that one, man.
You never saw
I'm
Alien?
gonna I'm gonna have to fail you on that one, brother. Like I'm
Oh,
gonna have to. Nah, I haven't seen one of those movies,
wow.
man. Not
You
one.
wow.
Yeah,
I can't believe, wow.
I might have to. I might have to. I'm gonna probably have to start watching them now, man. But nah, I haven't. No.
Yeah, you have to see at least Alien 1 through 3. Like
Yeah.
Alien Resurrection, you can kind of skip. It's not the worst thing in the world, but you can skip it. And
Yeah.
freaking the most recent one, like Prometheus and all that junk, it's
Yeah.
whatever. But Alien 1 through 3, definitely worth a watch.
Yeah.
Like I need to get Bonnie back on that. She hasn't seen the movies, and
Yeah.
she has to watch part 2 now and give us her
Yeah.
thoughts on it.
Yeah.
You've seen Predator though.
Of course.
What about part
One,
2?
two. Yes.
Man,
Part two.
I feel part 2 is underrated as well.
Part
with
two was okay.
with Danny
Like
Glover.
part two
I
was good.
In some ways I like part two better than the first one. Like, and
Mm,
I think it's because part two it just starts off wild. Like it's a gang
yeah,
fight. It's a drug war, and they're just da, 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 da.
yeah, dude. Man, the Predator, man, the way they display the people after they're done with them, that was pretty freaky back in the day. I remember
Yeah,
me watching that. I
that
was like,
was
wow,
yeah. That'll
yeah,
send shivers down your spine.
oh yeah.
And I think this was confirmed that Jean Claude Van Damme was the original Predator, but he got mad and he punched the director or something and left. What is this? I can't be seen. I want to be seen. I'm the muscles from Brussels.
Yeah,
Oh, you have a question here from Nick.
yeah.
And he says, Benny, how do you discern between an authentic paranormal experience and, quote, horror, unquote? Are these different pastimes or are these related?
Hmm. Well, uh, I would say they're probably related, dude.
You think so?
They're
Like,
probably related.
the authentic versus the horror. So, I I guess I Jean Claude Van Damme is an amazing actor. He can be. I'll say that at
Man, Steven
times.
Seagal. You think Steven Seagal is a good actor?
Oh God, no. Although I do like two of his movies. But
Oh man,
going back to Nick's question, I
yeah,
think a lot of times things that are authentic influence the imaginations and creates the horror. Especially when we're little kids.
yeah,
When we see a shadow and stuff, and it's like, oh my gosh, that thing is huge. It's gonna come and get me. And
yeah,
the authentic experience is, yes, it is a shadow. It is creepy looking. Is it alive?
yeah,
Probably not. Is it gonna get you? Most likely not.
yeah,
So I think the authentic experience can add to the horror aspect of it. So I would say they're related to a degree,
yeah,
but not
yeah,
fully. It depends on the
yeah,
imagination of the person and how they perceive things. In my
yeah,
opinion, that's just me though. I don't know.
yeah,
I'm a nut to begin with. Although
yeah.
this is something that you told me, and I've never forgotten
Mhm.
it. And it was
Yeah.
about the psychic from down there, Miss Letty,
Oh yeah, yeah.
and how she was called in to perform an exorcist, right, on a
A
house.
few of them,
A few
a
of
few
them.
of them, a few of them.
Yeah.
So you got to remember, it's like my parents come from a small village, so that village is probably no more than 500. You know, maybe 500 inhabitants and something
Hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
Everybody knows everybody. The preacher knows everybody, right? So in comes an outsider. It's kind of funny because it's like in a movie, right? In comes an outsider and starts, doing these exorcisms, these cleanses in people's houses, and word gets out, and then the priest finds out,
Yeah.
So then her and the priest get into it. You gotta remember these are Roman Catholic. The Roman Catholic Church over there is pretty strong,
Yeah.
you know. So yeah, they got into it, and I guess the priest booted her out. She wasn't allowed back into the village.
Darn.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
messed
She
up.
wasn't. Yeah, she wasn't back. She wasn't allowed back. So, what happened was that a lot of people that used to see her, for certain, to see her for them to get cleansed,
Yeah.
probably cleanse their
Her
houses,
going for
you
her
know,
for
yeah,
her
yeah, they
services.
would, yeah, for her services, they would have to, drive maybe like 3 or 4 hours, to the next state, but yeah, she got booted out of the village.
That's messed up. I didn't know
Ex-
she got booted out.
I didn't tell you that.
No.
Yeah, she got into it with the priest, man. The priest got mad and like, hey, man, you better. Yeah, yeah, she got kicked out.
That's messed up.
Yeah.
Darn. Now, what I do
Now
remember,
I was in prison when that happened, but they just told me,
yeah,
So yeah,
What I do recall though was I don't know if it was your cousins or aunt or something, but it was that house that was extremely haunted and it had portals or some mess in there. And they called in Miss Letty like a freaking Ghostbuster,
Yeah,
and he told me that she saw a dog, a big giant dog, running
that was at
around.
my house.
That
That
was
was at
your
my
house.
house. Yes, this is my
Oh
mom's
shoot.
house.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so she would see a big dog just like lurking around the house. She's like, "Hey man, that's not normal. That's not a normal dog."
Yeah.
And she every time she would pass, her like, "Hey man, you guys have a dog over there? Because it's a big dog. It doesn't look normal. Like
Yeah. You
it's
see.
not a normal dog." So I guess that must have been some type of, I don't know, some type of manifestation. Some type of,
Hmm.
maybe a spirit, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Just
yeah, that happened at my mom's house.
yeah. And she went in there, had her hair pulled out.
No, this happened in
That
another
that
house.
was the other. Okay.
That was another house. Yeah, yeah. They yanked out. She had a ball spot too. They yanked
Oh
a
my
nice little
gosh.
chunk
And
up. Yeah,
was that the one where it was a it was a guy who like she had backup and it's like, okay, I need
yeah. There was,
someone who's
yeah,
not gonna
yeah,
run away.
yeah.
And
Just to keep an eye on things. Yeah,
yeah, and it was a doll or something waiting for him.
yeah. So I'm trying to remember because this happened way back.
Yeah.
I think she was doing some type of ritual, and I think she was doing a cleansing too. So what she did was lay the people on the bed, and I'm trying to remember. But I think once she got everything was done and all of that, just once she got done with it, the people laying down in the bed was like, "Hey man, on the mirror, you were able to see like a little doll in the mirror
Mm,
because they would. It was the bed, and there was like a little a makeup studio. I don't know, where you put your clothes and all of that
yeah.
stuff in, like drawers. Yeah,
Yep.
they were like, yeah, man, we were able to see a doll right there. I'm like, oh wow, for real? Yeah.
Yeah, that's creepy.
So yeah,
That
yeah,
is
dude, but she
creepy.
got kicked out. She got kicked out.
That sucks.
A lot of people were going to her instead of the church. So I guess something happened.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
hello, Kelvin. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're just hanging out, sharing stories and all that. Now, from one crazy house to another, because you and we both saw this documentary, Demon House, and I
yeah,
actually did a review on it. And
yeah.
it's one of my favorite documentaries, even though it's by Zach. I always mess up his last name. Is it Baggins?
It was Baggins.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
Baggins.
always want to say Bagans.
Yeah, I think it's Baggins because I
Yeah,
just
but
got done watching it today.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay. So
yeah,
yeah, the documentary's by Zach Baggins. It's a few
mhm,
years old now, but
yeah,
it's one of my favorite paranormal documentaries, and
yeah,
I I loved it. However, saying that, they had a warning like people who watch this have gotten sick and ill and they felt weird and stuff. Nothing happened to me when I watched. I was just like, but I
yeah,
also go in with the mindset of nothing's going to happen. This is already
yeah.
filmed. It's nothing.
Yeah.
But some other people did. But yeah, for you though, that was one of the documentaries that was kind of creepy for you, right?
There was two documentaries that were creepy.
Oh, we'll get to the
You know which
second
one I'm
one in
talking.
a bit.
If we'll get to the second one. But yeah, it was pretty freaky. Uh, the first was it the first or second time I watched it? Because I think I watched it a total of three times already.
Hmm.
So I know on the second time I watched it, I did experience like a type of headache. I just couldn't remember it, but it was like a light headache when I was watching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's creepy. I want to say the other documentary is a bit creepier because you get to see things in it,
Yep.
but yeah, it's creepy.
Yeah, well, with Demon House, what it is, it's what happens to the people.
Yeah,
That that's what does it because it's just you can't explain it.
yeah,
That guy. having total organ failure. Like, what the heck?
Yes.
How did this
Yeah.
happen out of nowhere? Or was it a cameraman who flipped out?
Yeah. The cameraman. He flipped out, and I think I he wasn't the same after that. He was having some type of episode back at the hotel,
Yeah.
uh, where yeah, he was just. I think he was puking blood too.
Yeah, so
Uh, yeah,
so
it was pretty bad.
do you think it was an actual quote unquote demonic entity that caused all that, or is it just some type of natural phenomenon that we just can't explain? It's not supernatural, it's not occult, it's just a natural thing.
That's hard to say, but it was probably that's hard to say, but it was there was a lot of stuff happening inside that house. I mean, you had people that went in there and there was just they would just put the cameras in there, and then there was just people just like walking around like sort of I don't know like
Kind of
I
like a
would
zombie.
yeah like like walking to and fro and just staring into the distance and it's like they were lost. So I mean, you know more than I do. Do you think that this it's is it paranormal like demon related?
I don't think it's demonic, but I do think it's something nasty.
Something nasty.
Oftentimes, because we don't know what a lot of these spiritual creatures are, we jump to the demonic bandwidth because we live in a Christian society and it's shoved
Right.
down our throats, so everything's a demon. But
Yeah.
I think it was something. I don't think it was demonic, but I do
Right.
think it was something nasty that was there and
Yeah.
wasn't happy. I mean,
Yeah.
I think it partially possessed that little girl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like everybody was the guy that was taking magnetic field measurements. I think everybody got it.
yeah. He was the
Pretty much
one
everybody
who
got it.
he was the
Yeah, they
one who
had the
had the
organ
organ
failure.
failure. Yeah,
Yeah, he's the one that had the organ failure.
and I think a cop got his head busted open or something. He fell and had his head
Yeah,
busted open or something like that. And now with
one of
Zach,
Zach's friends, man. I think her husband, his lady friend in this. I think her husband ended up killing her. Well, I think
oh,
she
the
was trying to come in contact. Yeah,
Constantinos, yeah,
yeah. She was trying to come in contact to where with the spirit of the house or the demon of the house, whatever that thing is. I guess it must have probably gotten into the husband.
yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
With Debbie and Mark,
some
that's
weird stuff happened.
yeah. With Debbie and Mark, that's a weird thing.
Yeah,
It, it's weird. I don't
yeah,
know if that was the cause of it.
yeah,
Mark had some issues to begin with, most likely. I don't like that they make him out to be the big bad guy and this and that, but it's more
yeah,
to it. But
yeah.
it's weird. Oh, question for me. What's the difference between demonic and nasty? Daemon is Greek for invisible entity. Well, it's a couple of different meanings for daemon. I mean, of course, demon comes from daemon, but from what I understood, the definition was a supernatural being between gods and humans. So, not a god, not human, but something in between that. And going deeper, I think it was originally supposed to represent your consciousness. And that's part of where the angel on your shoulder, the demon on your shoulder comes from. But with, and again, this is just my point of view, with demons with demons, a lot of them are, in my opinion, lesser gods of some sort or some type of spirits. Most, I don't think, care about humanity or what we do. We might call to them for help and all of that every now and then, but for the most part, they mind their own business. We mind ours unless they are called upon and extremely disrespected. Something nasty could be an entity similar to a demon. I'm just I just don't know what to call it. For instance, a Wendigo. There we go. Not a demon, but it's a spiritual type of being that can be pretty freaking nasty. Or, oh, like you just said, a jinn can be
Yeah,
pretty nasty, something like that. I just don't know what to call certain things. And we're so quick to call something a demon or demonic. So hopefully that helps. I don't know if it does, but there you go, Nick. That's all you're getting from me, darn it. Uh, but yeah, I don't think that thing is demonic. I think it's something else because it's just, I don't know. It's just me. It's just my feelings. And if we weren't in a Christian society, they would say it was something else. Like if we were in a Hindu society, they might say it's an Azura or something,
yeah,
and just something different. I think we're just so quick to say this is evil and demonic. Well, that thing might actually be evil, but I'm
yeah.
questioning the demonic. But yeah, what would you do though if you owned that place and crazy mess was happening, oil's coming down the blinds, people are
Yeah.
getting possessed? What would you do?
Oh man, well, what can I just get out? Get out. I mean, yeah, after all of that and the way the what's her name, Latoya Emmons,
Hmm.
like after her sons were like walking up in the freaking wall
Yeah.
in the hospital in Mass. I think one of the social workers was right there. I think the freaking
Yeah, they interviewed her too.
yeah, and the psych and psychologist was there. Man, I think he ran out. You
Yeah.
know,
They said, "Nope, I'm gone."
so and I'm jumpy already too. So
Yeah, that's crazy. Like,
I'm
see,
jumpy. So
like you don't actually think that stuff is true. They always have it in those freaking movies where someone possessed walks backwards up a wall and everything. And here are two people, like a social worker and a psychologist,
psychologist, yeah,
testifying.
cops.
Yeah,
A few cops were
this
there.
kid walked up the wall backwards. Okay,
Yeah,
it's like, oh no, it's time to
yeah,
go.
yeah.
It is
I
time to
mean,
go.
for my safety, I would probably just get out. I
Yeah,
would get out,
so
man.
get out and find the nearest
Yeah,
buyer.
yeah. Get out and gotta watch out for your health, man.
Yeah,
You gotta watch out. Forget
yeah.
that.
So that place is nuts. And this is something that I knew they were doing, but I didn't know they were doing. But they made an actual feature length film based off of the family story in the demon house, and you saw
Yeah,
that. What's it called? Deliverance.
yeah. The deliverance.
All right. So for the first time ever, Benny, give us your review of Deliverance live. Go.
Oh man, well it was okay. Like I was telling you before we started the show, I all of these movies based on real events, they're kind of it's a lot of them,
Hmm.
but it's a decent movie. It's a decent movie, and it is kind of freaky. Uh, I think this one took place in Pennsylvania. It didn't take place in Indiana though,
Okay.
and it took place in Philadelphia. Is it? Yeah, it wasn't in Indiana though. But I had no idea it was based off the Demon House until the credits rolled in and like, oh, wait a minute, I remember that house. Like I
Yeah,
remember
you
seeing
just
that house
watch it
room.
like, huh, this seems kind of familiar, but okay.
Yeah, yeah, but it was okay. It was a okay movie for a horror flick.
So
You know,
compared to the documentary, since we're
the
going to
documentary is better.
assume, huh?
The documentary is way better.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's way better.
So did
Like it's
they, in your opinion, exaggerate anything in Deliverance?
no,
Really?
no, like compared to what I seen in the documentary, no,
Wow.
I don't think
Okay.
so.
I
Has anybody else seen it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
if
I
anyone has
don't think
seen
so.
Deliverance, let us know.
Yeah,
But wow,
and
I'm actually really shocked. Usually they
have you
exaggerate
seen it?
stuff in movies like that. Not yet.
Yeah, well, watch it. It's
Well,
pretty
I
good.
don't
It's a
really
it's a
do
decent film.
I don't really do the streaming service thing. Yeah, I don't
Oh, okay.
You know how I
Yeah,
am.
yeah, yeah. I got you.
But
Yeah, but they didn't
that's
exaggerate all that much in there. You
that's
know,
actually really
uh,
interesting.
uh, there were some parts in there just to, they probably added some stuff in there,
Yeah.
just to keep the movie flowing a bit more. But it wasn't when it came down to the paranormal aspect of it. No, I don't think so.
Wow.
Yeah,
I'm really shocked cuz
no,
they love exaggerate. I mean, they do it for entertainment purposes, of course.
yeah.
But the fact that it was cool. Wow.
You know
I'm
what?
blown
Now
away.
that I think about it, they add a little bit of drama. Some of those moments, where you have to, I gotta get over here fast.
Yeah.
Something's gonna happen. Yeah, a little bit of that in there, but other than that, in the paranormal aspect, no.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah,
Congrats to them.
no,
It's
yeah,
grounded. Wow.
yeah. It's a bit more grounded.
Okay. Versus something like I don't know. I'm trying to think of one of the Warren ones that's kind of like, come on, guys, like The Nun or something like that,
The Nun.
or darn it, I don't really watch the Warren mess.
I want to say the Nun, the movie on the Nun, like the Nun herself, like
Yeah.
that one was a bit overboard.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
So okay, so nice to know it's
Maybe
ground.
since it wasn't based off of true events, maybe you know they took flight on that movie.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
maybe like, all right, have at it. The demon
yeah,
Valak took over this person, and now he's going crazy.
yeah,
Enjoy.
yeah,
That that's pretty cool though. Okay, so it's good to know it's for the most part grounded, and not
yeah,
that documentary's better, but it's a documentary, and we assume that what they're showing us in those are factual,
yeah,
and there is some stuff that you just can't fake, like this guy having complete organ failure.
yeah. That was terrible.
Yeah, you can't fake
Yeah,
that like at the
yeah,
doctors, and like, no, this is what's happening, and ugh. And it sort of reminds me of someone else who got into some stuff he wasn't supposed to get into, or rather he was told to stop and he didn't listen. And we won't say any names
oh
because
yeah, yeah,
this is one of the few times where it's like, this scares Melvin. So we're not going to mention the names, but
yeah.
it's an alien documentary, and it's the other one that freaks you out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Although, to be fair, alien stuff in general is freaky.
I mean, I guess, dude, but yeah, that's probably the freakiest documentary I've seen.
Yeah, and
'Cause the stuff that goes on in there is just freaky.
yeah,
And
because he actually has footage of it.
yes, it's actual footage. Uh, I mean, can I can I speak more on the details, or
Yeah, yeah,
should I
yeah. Go
just?
ahead. We just don't want to
Yeah,
say the name.
the
I
na-
don't want to knock
the
on the
name.
door.
Leave the name out of it. Yeah, so he would just wake up, and all of a sudden he had these crazy, crazy equations, man. Like, and I. Well, do you remember the part where that light showed up in front of his porch? Was it in front of his porch or on the side of his house that left a mark?
I
And
think it
then some
was.
people came the next day and repaired that whole wall. Didn't give me any names, and then they just came, repaired the wall, and just like, all right, bye,
Yeah, I want to say it was on the side of the house.
on the side of the house, right?
Yeah, and
That was crazy.
mind you, I know someone who is directly connected, and I actually spoke to the guy's wife. I know her, and
Yeah,
and that's why, like, this is, I just don't want to say names because, again, I don't want to knock at the door, but
yeah,
he's too stupid to make any of this up. But government knocked on his door, we'll say. But I'm not
yeah.
making that up. Like, he truly is. He's too stupid to fake any of this. Like, he's dyslexic. He has ADHD. I'm not even sure he finished high school. So
Ah,
he's not the most intelligent person in the world.
yeah.
And it's said that uh, I've been told that his father was high ranking military and sold him to the government. So I don't know how
Yeah.
true that is, but it's some freaky stuff that happens. Of course, the classic window, you know.
Oh man. No, no. That the one of those videos where it got into the house and it was peeking on the side of the house, like it would peek its head out,
Yes.
and he was I think he was walking like I think it was like a stair, like the stairs, right,
Hmm.
right next to the stairs, the doorway, and you would just see it peek out, and I'm like, what the fuck? Yeah, dude. And all of this is being recorded. Like this is the craziest documentary I've probably seen.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a crazier one than this one.
Oh, yeah. You're probably not going to.
Huh.
I
Like
mean, unless you're able to capture everything right then and there in real time,
yeah.
you just can't. But yeah, the alien stuff, it's scary. I mean, it's weird.
Oh yeah.
Nick just said, like, EA Coetting said aliens scare him. He's on the left hand path. And that's the funny thing. A lot of occultists, they don't like the alien stuff. And
Yeah.
I think part of the reason for that is because they feel powerless.
Yeah.
And it's like, what can you do against this? Well,
Yeah.
nothing. They don't follow spiritual rules exactly.
Yeah.
You know, if one shows up, it shows up. You're never going to know it. Boom,
Yeah.
bam, in, out. And you sort of just have to take it.
Yeah.
It's
Oh yeah.
it's you know, like Bonnie, she's afraid of the alien thing. Another psychic that I had on, oh boy, way back at the beginning, Kelly Ferguson, she doesn't
Yeah.
like the alien stuff. I need to reach out to her.
Yeah.
Kelly, oh my gosh, she's one of the nicest people.
Yeah.
For whatever reason though, yeah, the alien mess, it freaks them out, and I think it's because you're powerless against it.
Yeah.
You know, like your holy water does nothing to me, or going bibbity bobbity boo. That's
No, just having interactions, with the with the dudes and that. So, I mean, that gets you in trouble. The thing eh, the consequences of having interactions,
yeah.
with the
It's
ETs.
more so government than the ETs themselves.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's the interesting thing, because usually you don't get in trouble until you start talking about it.
Yeah.
Don't talk about it, don't get in trouble. You talk about
Yeah.
it, you get a warning usually.
Yeah.
And he got a warrant. Like, okay, so I'll say this. I will go into some detail. The guy we're
Yeah.
talking about, he did get a warning. He got several warnings, and he didn't listen. And basically, life ruined. And for a
Yeah.
period of time, and I've seen the proof of this, spoke to the wife about it. Like, I saw this mess. A black van would show up, guys would get out of it and call them over, like, hey, get over here. And they would just beat them down, leave. And they would do this like weekly.
Daily.
Yeah, like, oh, you know what time it is, get over here.
Little Indian burning mess. Get
Yeah.
over here,
So,
man.
and then they would leave. It's so messed up. Like, I mean, it's not funny, but it's
I
kind of,
mean, yeah, I'm not trying. It's just like, I got a pretty fast imagination,
yeah,
man,
I
and it's just
know.
running away. It's taking off right now.
Yeah, but that mess, hey, if they
Yeah,
say shut up, you shut up.
yeah,
But yeah, they did that to teach a lesson. But yeah, could you imagine just having to take a daily or weekly beat down, and they would just pull up like, hey, get over here. You know what time it is, and
yeah, dude.
just and then take off. Like,
Like, hey,
that's a
come over here.
mess.
Don't make me go inside the house.
Yeah,
Just
just
come on over and just
and just
this,
get it done and over with, and then you can go.
yeah, yeah.
Oh man.
Jeez.
That sucks, and that's kind of what happened to Bob Lazar, according to John Lear, anyway.
Yeah,
And uh, we were talking about this a little bit before we started, but
yeah,
freaking Bob Lazar, they discredit they discredited everything about him. Like, nope, he never worked here. He didn't actually go to this school. There's no record of this or that or this element. What?
yeah.
No. And from according to John Lear, what they did to Bob Lazar was because he had a big mouth and he would
Yeah.
talk too much.
Yeah.
They would get him, sit him down, and like do this weird little hypnotizing thing. And this is an actual thing to induce pain. And they were like, aliens exist. You talk about them, like, what? No, yes. And then they would hit him with the back of the gun, just bam! Like, and they
Oh
would
man.
keep saying, like, are aliens real or the UFOs or this or that, whatever. And bam, hit him
Yeah.
again
Yeah.
until enough time passed and they stopped. They conditioned him to where if he thought about talking about whatever he was working on, that pain would come up, and he's like, "Oh, I can't talk about that. It hurts, man. It hurts. Can't do it."
Yeah.
That that's some scary mess.
Yeah, dude. Like I said, it's just what happens after you come in contact with the ETs is a scary thing, man.
Yeah.
It's really, because you can't. I don't know why, but yeah, it gets really scary, man. It gets really scary. Can you imagine them just, hey, man, did, do you know who I am? No. Did you see something? No. Like,
Yeah, well, that's what happened with the
yeah,
guy in Puerto Rico. I want to say, like, he had a machete and he chopped up like some type of reptilian alien, or it was something, and he got a knock on his door, and he knew, and they're like, "Did something happened last night?" Nope. Did you see anything? Nope. Where's the
yeah.
machete? Here it is. Did you use this machete? Nope. Hey,
Good job. Good job.
exactly. Have a
Good
nice
job.
day.
Good job. Good job. Yeah, it gets scary, dude. Like, it gets scary, man. Um, yeah, dude. Uh, I was gonna say something, but I'll just stay quiet. Like,
Oh yeah.
I'll just stay quiet, man. Yeah.
Now the interesting thing too, though, is sometimes you do have to be careful with the alien stuff as well because people do exaggerate, and a lot of times the alien folks are a bit out there. Like, no pun
Yeah.
intended.
Yeah.
Like, that's why I don't have too many alien guests come on, because it's just hard to figure out what is what, and you don't want to say your experiences didn't happen,
Yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, maybe this is a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, our favorite psychic being uh Rainbow Star Seed Super Saiyan 2 mess, shooting out a Kamehameha wave. That's a bit too
Oh man.
much.
Uh, Mrs. M.
Yeah. Oh no,
Yeah.
Miss, not married, Miss.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Miss.
no one's gonna
Miss
marry
M.
that. They know.
Nobody's.
Okay,
Yeah.
Nick has a question for you. Thought I heard Benny mention incarn uh what? Incarceration earlier. Does Benny have an opinion on why so many people become spiritual or religious while inside? Is there increased paranormal activity? Well, as far as I know, Benny, you were never incarcerated, but
No, no, no. Thank God.
but give
No,
us your
thank God.
take on that.
Probably it would have to do them being, being inside incarcerated. You have more time to yourself. There's a lot of people in there with Bibles walking around.
Yep.
It probably has to do with that. I remember a friend that was locked up. He came out, man, and the dude was just like he knew the book backwards and front. He was all spiritual. It probably has to do with that.
Yeah. I I think, well, you're in a small room
Yeah,
22, 23 hours out of the day,
yeah,
and all you have is yourself, maybe another person, maybe. And yeah, the Bible, like, they freely give those out, like, here, this is what you
yeah,
get. And you're going to get spiritual or you're going to get crazy.
yeah,
Pick your poison. And I
Oh yeah.
think a lot of them find spirituality as a way for them to live out that sentence,
Yeah.
so they can stay strong, so they don't break. And maybe it helps them turn things around to where it's like, okay, my life isn't just this concrete wall or cell, it's more to it. And darn it, I'm going to make it the best. I understand,
Yeah.
maybe. I we would have to speak to someone who is in jail
Yeah.
and they came out a certain way, but
Yeah.
I think it's because what else is there? Go
Yeah.
crazy or get holy.
Exactly.
That's one of the few things you can do. Otherwise, you're pretty boned.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, like, you spend. Oh no, it's all good, Nick. Nick said that, I'm sorry, guys. I thought Benny said he was in prison when Leprechaun 2 came out. I'll have to rewatch the stream.
No,
Must have
no, it's okay.
misunderstood. Yeah,
It's
no
okay.
problem. It's no biggie.
No problem. It's no biggie, man.
Um, but yeah, you spend hours upon hours isolated away from everyone and
Yeah.
see what happens. Like, you're either going to go crazy or you're going to be freaking spiritual as sin, because
Yeah.
one way or another something's going to snap in you and you're either going to get it or you lose it.
Yeah.
That's Yeah, that's just how I see it. you
Yeah.
know there's a reason why sometimes people go on those pilgrimages and, like, no, I need to
Yeah.
be by myself, I need to live this
Yeah.
out. Would you ever do that, Benny? Like supreme isolation for like a month or something?
Probably we probably would, dude. It would have to be something traumatic, a brush with death, something like that, like a type of disease where you're gonna have to, you know,
Something that makes you think.
something that makes you think.
Yeah.
But I can probably see me doing that. Yes.
Yeah. And just like, let
Yeah.
me look at this from a different perspective. It makes you
Right.
appreciate life a bit more. Like, all
Right.
having scares like that. And yeah, even being locked up, you know, gotta
Yeah.
get. I don't know if they do this anymore. This is an old school thing where they would get the phone books and they would wrap them around their ribs and everything to protect them from getting stabbed.
I, I don't know, man. I would have to investigate on that one,
Yeah,
man. But
that's old school, but yeah.
yeah, that's some
But no,
armor
that
on.
was the thing. That was the thing, because they would make freaking shivs out of the toothbrushes and everything, and they would.
Yeah.
So what people would do would get books or whatever, and because they're thick and you can't penetrate them, and they would have them around their waist and mess to protect them.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but I mean, that's a life right there.
Yeah, dude.
That is a life. I would not.
But I'm pretty sure everybody, like any person that goes through that type of experiences, like getting locked up or like I just said a minute ago, a brush with death, some type of disease, they'll look for something in this. They'll try to find more. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
look into something that gives them a bit more comfort.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
What else are you going to
Yeah.
do? But then there are also those folks that they just don't care and they get crazier, and it's like,
Yeah.
although this is something that's interesting because it raises the question, are they crazy or are they super sane? Almost to a nihilistic point of view, to where it's like, it doesn't matter. If I feel I am right and righteous in my actions, does that actually make me wrong?
Yeah.
I believe in what I'm doing. And
Yeah.
even though society is saying, no, this is wrong, you shouldn't do this, am I? Because I believe in it and
Yeah.
I'm doing what's best for me. It's one of those type of things that can come up.
Yeah.
So that, oh man, could you? That's probably the worst thing you want to come across, a freaking philosophical murderer.
Yeah.
That's just not gonna go good.
A philosophical.
Yeah, man, a philosophical murder. Yeah, I thought about the instruments of life and I flew to the spheres and I understand, and let me tell you, what I'm doing some might consider wrong, but I'm living my path of righteousness. And it's
Yeah,
like, I can't argue that, you know?
yeah,
So,
yeah. That
yeah.
would be that would be. I don't know what I think about that.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
that
it's
is, I don't know what I would think. I would be like,
like, huh, well, shoot. Well, just
yeah,
kill me quick, man. And don't eat
yeah,
my
dude.
liver. I mean, not
Hannibal
to make
Lecter.
light of murderers or anything like that. You guys know how I am. But yeah, could you imagine a freaking a philosophical murderer? Whew,
Oh yeah,
that don't want to come across that, but it happens. Like what causes someone to take another person's life? I mean, you gotta. I mean, that's really extreme, and it's not easy to do because, like, okay, this isn't a good example, but it's the only one I have. I know how to do CPR. When I was training for CPR,
yeah,
it's something that I said to myself, I never want to do this because you have to compress down on the chest so freaking hard. Like, to where it's like, oh my God, I'm going to break a rib, or break this person's rib or something. And for someone to actually take a life and put that much pressure into it to where, this could save a life and it's scary to take a life. I can't
yeah,
I can't begin to imagine. It takes so much to save a life and it takes probably more to take a life. And it's like, how can you get to that point?
yeah.
That
That's crazy.
that will make no sense to anyone but me.
Yeah,
Unfortunately. Sorry guys.
yeah, dude. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah.
It would have to be like something really crazy, man. Like something, some type of situation when I'm like fighting for survival, or something like that, in
Yeah.
order for me to do something
Well,
like that.
yeah, but that's different when you're fighting
Yeah,
for survival to defend
yeah.
yourself. Yeah, you
Like
could do it.
something really, you have no way out.
Yeah.
That's the only way out. You know?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I mean, I get that, but folks who just
yeah,
do it at a whim, like, yeah, I'm just gonna do this just to do it. It's like,
yeah.
darn, man, you're next level, aren't you?
Oh yeah,
Oh boy, that reminds me of the in case you missed it, that's going up tomorrow. This is gonna
yeah.
be different than the normal ones. It only counts as murder if they look you in the eyes. Oh shoot. Okay, so let's put on the blindfold here. Oh man, could you imagine that defense?
Yeah,
Oh, speaking of defense, the devil made me do it.
yeah.
Do you think that's possible where someone could be possessed and they kill someone? Is that a viable defense?
Well, it happened, right?
Yeah, it happened. Arn
Well, I'm trying to
Cheyenne.
remember. I'm trying because I did see the film,
Hmm.
you know. But what happened in real life, though?
No,
I know
what?
there's a document. I want to say there's a documentary on there from Netflix too, if I'm not mistaken. I haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, it legit happened for the most part. It was a kid. I think his name was David, and he was allegedly possessed by a demon. And the demon jumped from him to someone else to into someone else, Arn Cheyenne or whatever his name is,
Yeah,
and the guy snapped and he killed his landlord. And
yeah,
during the court proceedings, the defense said it was the devil made him do it. He was possessed by a demon. He had no control over his actions, and it's like, oh, okay, are you what? And the judge said, no, this is not a viable defense because you can't prove that he was actually possessed or not.
yeah,
Which, oddly enough, in modern times, that actually might be a viable defense now because things have gotten fairly liberal to a
yeah.
degree. But Uh, I mean, it's crazy, but do you think that's possible? Being possessed and killing somebody?
Well, again, do you remember the do you remember the demon house?
Well, yes.
All right, so you remember the dude that got possessed and was going haywire on the freaking hotel?
Yep.
I think so. There's a chance there for, yeah. I think it's possible.
Whew.
I think it's possible. Zach, man, Zach pussied out. Man, he pussied out. He when he seen the dude flipping out, he's like, "Hey, man, everybody get back." Remember that part? He was like, "Hey,
Yeah.
man, everybody back."
No, Zach is he's a bit of a coward, which is fine. I
I
would
mean, it
not.
makes sense. I would have done the same thing
Yeah.
too, though. And I see a dude flipping out, man. It's like, "Hey, man, yeah, everybody back off." So yeah, I think it's possible. Now that I look at it, yeah,
Oh man.
I think it's possible.
Ugh, that's scary. I mean, and then
The,
what can you do to stop that? Because they're probably like on. It's probably like them being on PCP. They're not gonna feel anything.
yeah,
Like man, 1-2 them. That's not gonna cut it, man.
yeah,
Better get a brick.
they got to take him down. Well, I think there was like two more guys with him. I want to say it was Zach, and there was
Zach.
a dude in a cell phone, and then there was an extra cameraman in the
I
back.
think Billy was with them,
Yeah,
and
so
yes. So you don't. Mm-mm.
yeah,
That's why you have to be careful. And Nick mentioned the Carly Gregg situation has been on my mind lately. Depressing. Oh man, yeah, that is very sad. The
yeah,
Carly Gregg murder. So um yeah, they it, she killed her mother,
yeah,
and they gave her a life sentence, I think.
yeah,
And yeah, it that I don't know what to make of that. That's just one of those things where it's like this isn't happy. No one wins this. This is just terrible.
yeah,
So, yeah, but yeah, I feel you, Nick. I feel you. I definitely feel you. And we are going to start wrapping up here. It's almost getting to that time. Wow, time flew by quick.
yeah. It went
Oh
by
my
really
gosh.
fast.
It's been, yeah. Wow. That was, wow. Gosh darn it. What the heck? I didn't. Anyway, yeah, so Benny, let me ask you this, because
Yes,
this is something that it's another one from you that I've never forgotten. I want to see if you still remember the story. And again, I don't know if it was your cousin or an aunt, but it was someone, a girl who was apparently a little bit stuck up, and she woke up one night, went to the couch, and there was some type of creature,
yeah,
and it was smiling, eating Cheetos, looking at her.
yeah.
Do you remember that?
I want to say she stole those Cheetos. She stole those Cheetos from some. I can't remember. I think it was from one of her um either her sister or her mom, something like that.
Hmm.
And she woke up and she saw like this black mass right there, like a black mass, but you're only able to see his the smile.
Yeah,
Yeah, and it had the Cheetos, like it was holding on to the Cheetos, and that's like she was able to tell, like it was holding on to the Cheetos. Yeah,
that is so creepy.
yeah,
You don't want to see that, especially after you
yeah.
wake up. So, did she scream, or what happened afterwards?
I can't remember, dude, because it's been so long, dude. It was so long, but I do remember that. Like she did wake up and she saw some type of black mass, and she was able to make out the smile.
Ugh.
She was able to only make out the smile, no eyes, no, just the smile.
What would you do?
Man, I'll probably just be stuck on freezing, man. Just because I wouldn't be able to believe what happened. I mean, I had stuff happen. I told you about it, man. we'll get into that in some other show in minutes. But yeah, it's when stuff happens to me, man, I either like if it happens to me while I'm driving, I have to pull over and just sit there and for a minute and just be like, huh.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Someone just sent me $25. Thank you so much. I yeah, anonymous. Thank you. That's very much appreciated. Thank you. Wow, that's so nice. Thank you. That's really
Excellent.
kind of you. Um, yeah, so for me,
You
I'm
haven't
going
had anything happen to you, right?
no. Things happen around me and to people I know, but I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
But for me,
Okay.
if I was in that situation where, I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm kicking and I see something and it's just smiling at me,
Yeah.
I'm freaking out. Just, and running, turning on every single light, getting a knife. It's like, man, it's time to go
I
stabby, stabby or something.
yeah. Yeah. I mean, I already told you about my experiences, man. So uh, we'll get back on it some other day.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude. Yeah, dude. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we'll speak on that some other time, and yeah.
but yeah, this is a good spot to end it. Benny,
Yeah.
thank you so much for coming on. I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you, and thank your audience. Yeah.
Yeah, always
Anytime, brother.
fun. And guys, oh, you know what? Actually, I want to do this before I forget, because I think Stephanie is doing something. So I want to link you guys to go over there. And of course, if she is doing something, I can't find it. Oh, there. No, that's not it. One second. I should have had this pre-set up, but like a ditz, I forgot. Here we go. Yeah, Stephanie's doing something, so I want to send you guys to her direction. And there you go. So go over to Stephanie, say hello, and see what she's up to. But yeah, thank you all for joining us. Really appreciate it. I hope you guys enjoyed the talk and conversation. Next stream is sometime next month, but I'm gonna plan to have at least 3 streams. So, and the next tarot stream will most likely be on the 7th. So, we'll see. I'm still up in the air with that because I've been doing recordings for little videos. So, content is going back up on Unexplained. But yeah, thank you guys for joining. Really appreciate it. Be sure to follow Unexplained Possibilities on Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, Instagram, all that stuff. Links in the description. Say hello to our friends down there somewhere. And with that said, remember, guys, there are things that go bump in the night. Go ahead and tell them hi. Bye, everybody.